we just need to be clear, and the British people need to understand what the situation they're about to face. A chronically, a Prime Minister with no authority whatsoever, a Conservative Party which has been humiliated and now faces huge division, is now going to be held over the barrel by the most extreme party in the House of Commons, the Democratic Unionist Party, which, let's just be very clear, when we talk about social conservatism and those sorts of euphemisms, it is anti-LGBT rights, it is anti-women's rights, they are climate change deniers.
Led by a woman.
They oppose the right of women to choose, and equally, they are backed by loyalist terrorists. They are now going to be the most, have huge influence over
this. I mean,
we
should just clarify that. You say they're backed by them, but they have no formal link with them, and they do not endorse violence. We need to be clear about that.
They are enthusiastically supported by loyalist paramilitaries. That's just an objective fact, and you can see the murals. You can see the loyalist murals all over Belfast, lauding them. Just quickly on that, though, what this does is threaten, of course, the Northern Ireland peace process, where you have one sectarian party which now has disproportionate influence over the Westminster government. But, we've just had Ruth Davidson's sought assurances from Theresa May that this won't, imperil LGBT rights. The one thing we know about Theresa May, of course, is you can't trust a single word she says, because the one thing she's done, including the early election, everything through, is consistently U-turn. It's very worrying when you have a political party which is so extreme on LGBT rights, on women's rights, on climate change, and which, in terms of the Northern Ireland peace process, the implications there has so much control over this government.
Owen, from your point of view as a Corbyn supporter, I wouldn't go on too much about links with terrorists. And I also wouldn't go on too much about social prejudices. The people who who refer to me as the Zionist Jew Janet Daly online whenever I attack Corbyn are not a particularly attractive picture either. So I would be very careful about, there is left-wing bigotry and there is right-wing bigotry.
But Brian, do you want to just pick up on this question about the DUP? Will it be kind of extremist in its approach?
Well, a lot of the stuff you're talking about are deferred issues. They have a veto, the issue about marriage equality and so on.
What you've got to remember in the Westminster Parliament.
Yeah, there are 18 Westminster seats in Northern Ireland. The DUP won 10 of them this time around. You talk about democracy. That's democracy. They got elected.
Yeah, I don't see what the issue there is. In terms of what people in Britain should be concerned about.
They are as entitled as any other party sitting in the House of Commons to form any kind of alliance they choose with whoever they choose.
Can I just say, I'm entitled, obviously, and those of us who are horrified by the prospect of an electoral alliance, a parliamentary, a government being formed with the support of that party, have every right to speak out. Look, that party opposes the basic civil rights of me as a gay man. It would be absurd if I didn't express the
I'm not suggesting you shouldn't.
Of course the DUP are entitled to do what they want. But British citizens have every right to speak out.
They are the largest single party in Northern Ireland at the moment. Because that's part of the United Kingdom.
It's irrelevant to the objections to the alliance.
Don't get so head up about it. I know they're the position and they're not very attractive at all, but they're not going to be influential in the shaping and forming of social policy in Great Britain as a whole. They will have to moderate themselves.
Just to be clear on that, there's not equal marriage in Northern Ireland, and one of the dangers is the West.
That's not going to be impinged.
That wouldn't have changed either.
One of the assurances Ruth Davidson was trying to get from the Prime Minister is that this wouldn't impede her supporting, for example, the extension of LGBT rights in Northern Ireland. That's what you can't trust.
Of course it won't.
But in any case, as I've said, if any party which opposes basic civil rights for people, for example, LGBT people, has a disproportionate influence over the Westminster government...
The DUP are not going into this alliance to start rolling back equal marriage in Scotland or equal marriage in England or Wales.
We know that
the DUP are going into this alliance to ensure that, for example, farmers in Northern Ireland who will be very damaged by Brexit suddenly get more money from the UK Treasury to make up for the subsidies they're going to lose.
This is a really
This is about money, jobs, livelihoods and the economy. It's not...
When you talk about the DUP social agenda, one of the risks, one of the dangers, for example...
You're talking about the DUP social agenda. This isn't about the DUP social agenda. It's about the DUP's economic agenda.
Could I finish? If you end up with a vote, for example, as we've had before, on abortion in the House of Commons, then obviously there are implications.
But it'll be a free vote.
It's a free vote. It's a free vote.
It's completely free. We don't know.
It doesn't
matter yet, obviously, what is going on.
Every vote on abortion
we know that a
vote.
party which opposes LGBT rights and opposes abortion is going to have huge impact over the government.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.